We've had many concerts on this square here behind me, as well, of course, as the grand opening ceremony, which Caleb sent that report from, culminating in a pretty amazing firework display with fountains going off in the square here as well. And Caleb has managed to finally get out of that quite loud and noisy, excited crowd and join us here on the square as well. Tell us a bit more about what was going on inside. And Caleb, of course, this is your first time in Russia, but not your first time at a youth festival. How's it compared so far?
Wow, I mean, what a ceremony. I mean, that was something special. Now, I attended the 2013 festival in Quito, Ecuador. Totally different experience. Nothing like this. I was not prepared for what I saw in that auditorium. That was a tremendous performance. I mean, music, dance, and the audience. I mean, the audience was just on the edge of their seat. I saw people bursting into tears at numerous times. People were just very emotionally moved by the ceremony. It was quite powerful, and to see so many young people, just a sea of young people in their yellow jackets, the uniform for the festival, all kind of moving as one body there, listening to the performances, seeing, it was something special. You had to have been there. TV doesn't do it justice.
Indeed, and of course 20,000 people from 150 different countries certainly sets, I believe, a bit of a record certainly for the spectrum of arrivals coming. We managed to speak to some of those people earlier to get some of their emotions and thoughts on their experience so far. Let's take a listen.
Came from Jordan, Middle East.
We are from Sri Lanka.
We are from Argentina.
A lot of countries is here, more than 150 countries. A lot of cultures, a lot of people, so I'm excited to meet the new people.
As youngsters, it's a great opportunity to come and meet as one, to get to know youth of all around the world.
There is like a sense that the possibility of a brighter world, a world with more social justice, is impossible, and here we can see that it isn't. We can meet people from every country that can prove their experiences, what they are doing in their countries, and that's what we came to do, and it's really great.
Well, of course, as well as a chance to bond, to network, to meet new people, it's also a chance for young people all over the world to discuss and debate key global ideas, isn't it, Caleb?
Well, yes. I mean, a real emphasis on technology and scientific research. That seemed to be a major theme in the presentations, in the videos that were shown, in the song and dance performances. There seemed to be this emphasis on the idea that if we can develop and if we can raise the standard of living around the world and get people out of poverty and out of the conditions that drive them toward drugs and terrorism, we can raise the standard of living around the world. We can have a more peaceful and interconnected world where people are trading with each other, doing business, getting along, and just kind of building a better life for humanity. A very clear message, but it's one that you just couldn't disagree with. You watched it, you thought, how could anyone possibly disagree? This is what brings us all together. This is the basic human emotions, right? The desire for a better life for the next generation, young people being full of hope, having dreams and aspirations. It was a very, very human presentation. A lot of power in that room.
And that was, of course, a key tenet of Vladimir Putin's speech as well. He made a highly anticipated speech on the screen there. You actually were fortunate enough to see it live. Let's just take a listen briefly to what the Russian president had to say.
70 years ago, the first festival was held. Back then, young men and women were brought together by their belief that sincerity and kindness could break the ice of mistrust. They believed it would help to release the world from injustice, from wars and conflicts. They proved that barriers are powerless in the face of real friendship.
And of course, Caleb, it's a special year for this particular festival. It's an anniversary year, isn't it? It's been held twice in Russia before. This is the third time it's been held. I mean, just tell us a bit about the historical background, and is it still relevant today, this festival?
Well, these festivals have been going since 1947, and 1947 was 2 years after the USA and Russia and China all came together to defeat fascism in this beautiful moment where they valued human freedom and dignity and defeated the forces of fascism. And after the Second World War, you know, the USA and some of the big money interests there were trying to divide the world, and there was this division of the world, and any country that was aligning with Russia or China was basically being barricaded. And the idea of the festivals was to bring the young people of the world together. Say, we don't need a Cold War. We don't need hostility. We can have connections and share and our experiences. And the youth of the World Democratic Youth Federation can come together and express these kind of anti-fascist values that came out of that glorious moment of the Second World War. And really, this festival is just a continuation of that tradition. If you look at it, the theme is the same, is that the world should be united. Young people from all over the world, they shouldn't be hating each other because you're from this country and you're from from that country, your country has this ideology, my country has that ideology. Instead, we should be united and trying to build a better world in which we're sharing and cooperating with each other and trying to raise the global standard of living. And that theme stays true. The Cold War may be gone, the Soviet Union may be gone, but that overall theme of peace through cooperation and development, that seems to be very well alive, and we saw it on the stage in that powerful performance, and we heard it from the lips of Russia's president, Vladimir Putin.
Absolutely, yeah. It's certainly something we've seen here today with those people from every country, every continent almost, and certainly something we'll experience over the next few days as well. Caleb Maupin, thanks so much for coming all the way from the States, actually, to join us at this festival.
It's a pleasure. It's a pleasure. It's such an honor to be here.
Thanks again.